Hey, I'm Mary back with another video. It is 9:14 a.m. It is May 12th, and I am pushing myself to meet some deadlines that I made for myself. So I'm doing the best I can, chugging along. I completed some paperwork, and I'm just trying to get things moving. So anyway, this morning I had a appointment, one of those telephone appointments, with a psychiatrist, right? We talked for maybe about half an hour. It wasn't very long. And she seemed very polite and everything, but I think we mutually agreed that psychiatric issues are not necessarily something that we should follow through with, mainly because my issue is relating to something on the outside. It's not up here. It's not mental. Not completely. It's mental in a sense that, I'm dealing with the frustration and the, what do you call it? The after effects. I am seriously dealing with issues relating to post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and so on and so forth. But it is not a direct result of like a chemical imbalance or something. These are actual problems relating to domestic stalking. So it's not like, I don't see any reason to start popping pills only because if my issue is not outside of myself, it's not inside of myself, then it's an issue that will continue on, or I'm going to have to deal with it or whatever. So that was the best way to go, I think. Anyway, so today, I was doing a lot of thinking over the last few days, and I was thinking about, the rumors that get circulated. There's a lot of gossip, and there's a lot of people who believe in these rumors, and that's just one of the reasons why, I'm dealing with the work issues relating to my work. And I know that, people like to speculate. Like, I think people speculated about me having a relationship with the guy that I used to know in high school, which I took the initiative to contact him in the last few days, okay? And I haven't heard anything from him, okay? And the reason I'm doing this is because I figure if he is indeed, because I believe that there's some sort of rumor going around that I'm supposed to be with him, or that I'm seeing him on the side, or I'm seeing him. I'm going to tell you, I haven't seen this person in over 30 something years, okay? I don't communicate with him on the phone. We don't exchange any sort of communication whatsoever, okay? I did, however, just recently send him another email or text message, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call it. Messenger message, whatever. I did do that because I wanted to clarify, and I would like to see this person again. I would like to see him again, for whatever reason. But I haven't heard anything from him. So I don't believe that he's ever going to communicate with me. Okay. So if these rumors are circulating, I'm here to set the record straight that there is no future plans for me to be with this person. Also, obviously, I'm divorced. So, I think that these people are making employment issues based off some sort of love choice that legally I am not obligated to make. Okay. If these people are trying to throw me out of my field, okay, which they're looking for any reason to, okay. Obviously, that's not a legal reason, but I've been applying to all kinds of jobs, and accounting jobs have been few of them that I've been applying for. That's just like, I might as well. I'm looking for any job at this point, because when you are a targeted individual and people have literally thrown your shit out in every which direction, all you can do is hope for whatever you can get. That's pretty much how it is right now. So, whatever. But I would never consent to my work being tied into any sort of relationship. And I've already explained why, because it can be an abusive situation, which I do believe that I've experienced this sort of abuse through my ex in-laws, and I never really had much of a relationship with them anyway. I barely knew them, okay? And then also my blood relation, who probably assisted them in doing this. I'm not seeing anybody, okay? And I know that we've talked about this before. I know that they with this, when you're dealing with sexual harassment, you can say, I'm not seeing anybody, but they're like, yes, you are. You're seeing somebody. I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not dating anybody. I don't see anyone. I don't communicate with anyone. I don't have, romantic exchanges with anybody. I'm completely 100% single and focused on just getting back on my feet. financially, okay? And I know that you can never fully recover as a targeted individual, but I'm trying to do whatever I can do, what kind of job I can get. I'm just whatever. So that's not a priority right now. Okay, if I was to ever see Stephen again, then that would be great, okay? But I would never allow or want or consent to anything like that standing in the way of me getting a job. And I certainly would never want a husband who had any kind of sort of say or control over what I did, because this, oftentimes people end up abusing you. Okay. So, and that's one of the reasons why, like I said, it's illegal to do this sort of stuff. Okay. So, I was thinking about, how, like, I grew up in a family where nothing was really clearly defined. I think my family, like, some people have kids and they have all these dreams and these visualizations, maybe based on fairy tales or maybe TV shows. They think, well, I see this particular family, this is exactly what I'm going to have. And so throughout the course of them building this family, they burn out and they lose interest, okay? Or they realize that children aren't just cute little baby dolls that, you can hug and cuddle. There's more required to being a parent than just birthing them and then, putting clothes on them and even feeding them. There's more to it than that, okay? So some people think that that's all there is to it. And they don't realize that people need guidance. And guidance is not telling them what to do. It's showing them, leading examples, and gently, literally guiding them the way, okay? Like, for example, if you have a kid, and obviously you need to understand that they have emotional needs, not just financial needs, but they have emotional needs as well. So when you observe them, you recognize what their talents, their strengths are, and then you try to build on that. Like, good parents allow their children to be well-rounded. Like, if they see that their kid likes dancing, it's like, this kid's on to something. I'm going to put him in a dance class. If this kid's somebody who likes to tumble around a bunch of times in the backyard, maybe this kid needs to be in gymnastics, or at least try it, because it should be in activities that are stimulating to them, that are allowing them to foster their talents and grow based off what they possess naturally, right? And, unfortunately, I was not raised in a family that promoted that. It was basically, I think my mother thought that kids were cute and that this is what she wanted. She dreamed of being like a mother, because that's what it was in everyone's head, at certain times in throughout history, that this was your function. And I'm not knocking it, okay? It's existed that way for many years, okay? But I'm just saying this is what she thought. And I'm going to have, cute kids, and then I'm going to have cute kids, and I'm going to have cute kids, but there was nothing else planned for those cute kids. That's one of the biggest issue. And then you also deal with the issue of dealing with the behavior, people who don't have the proper behavior, people who ended up getting resentful. Like my mother got resentful after, she had a bunch of kids, realized it was hard work, it was draining, it wasn't really fulfilling to her. So then she ends up mistreating her kids, okay, mainly me, right? So I'm not trying to dig up an argument, but my point is that you deal with these family dynamics, okay? And then you see the end result of a person who's dealt with, this sort of emotional bullying, financial bullying, and that was very harmful. And it was harmful to me. This whole thing was very harmful to me because, number one, it was like these people jumped on board of something. They don't understand that there's supposed to be boundaries, that there should be some sort of formal consent. And I didn't give any formal consent to this. And then you want me to bend over backwards and bend to your rules and whims and all this other stuff. And it's like, there is no mutual respect in that sort of family. Okay. So my thing is that I'm dealing with issues that are not based on a chemical imbalance. It's not because it's all in my head. It's not because I'm dealing with, this darkness that comes over me and I can't explain. You know, some people say that they believe in this whole idea of a chemical imbalance. I remember having a conversation with a lady I used to know back in the early 2000s, and I was expressing my doubt on this whole idea of a chemical imbalance. I don't believe in chemical imbalances. I don't. All right. But because I at least not for me, okay, I am not in a position, and I really doubt that most people who claim to be qualified are in any position to discount this whole theory of, or either agree with it or whatever. They do, because this is an idea that's being promoted. But I don't believe that people, that at least from my perspective, okay, that these issues are chemical imbalances, because they're not chemical imbalances. My issues are valid. They are because of outside sources. It's not because I just feel like a shitty day. I want to have a shitty day, so I'm having a shitty day. This is because it's a direct result of being bullied. It's a direct result of having my emotional needs unfulfilled, because these people have taken me away from certain things that I needed in life to feel whole. You see, like when I was in high school, I left high school when that was not my intention at all. My intention was I wanted to do more things with my life. I really did. Didn't necessarily know the right steps, because, you know, I didn't have this, like, you know, I knew some parents that were really good with their kids. Like, they knew, you know, they wanted to make sure their kid cultivated their talents. They wanted to make sure their kids acquired skills. They were always putting their kids through programs, and that's not necessarily always important or even needed, but it's just one of the things that many things that people do in order to cultivate these sort of behavior and what's needed for a person to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and be confident in this world, you see. And not everyone measures up to that as a parent. They just don't, you know. And so I know in the past, you know, people have accused me of blaming my parents for my failures in life. And I will say that, you know, I didn't initially. I remember, you know, when I was younger, it's like, you know, you get in arguments with your parents. And then as I got older, I kept thinking, maybe I was too hard. I went through this whole issue of denial. Like it wasn't, like, it wasn't their fault. Like I was saying, it wasn't that my mother's fault. You know, I blamed my mom for things. And then as I got older, when I realized this whole targeting thing that was going on, when I realized the secrets that were being kept, when I realized that that what happened to me in elementary, junior high, high school, outside of school, when I was raising my son, when I was in the workforce, all of these things that were continually happening, these bullying issues, then I kept thinking, you know what? It is their fault. It is their fault. You know? And sometimes, you know, even though it was their fault, sometimes we don't always react accordingly to it. But I will say that the mistakes that I've made are understandable based on what has happened to me continually over and over and over again. You know, so I hold firm on that. I'm not going to ever try to make myself feel, or I'm not going to feel guilty about the choices that I've made in life. I'm not going to feel guilty about taking my stance on this issue. I'm just not, okay? And like I said, I don't want to keep the argument going, but you know, the reason why I sought out the this healthcare program is because it does get overwhelming. You know, the lady that I was communicating with, we are no longer in communication. She has passed away. Okay, and I feel really that when you have someone to talk to, sometimes you have to verbalize this. And sometimes, you know, I talk on these videos, you know, and it's for my TIs, but mostly my perps are listening. Okay, but you need to get it out of you. You need to get this out. I mean, and I need to get it out because this is years, this is decades of built up frustration, depression, anger, anxiety, fear, because, you know, when you realize that people that you know, that you sat down and had a meal with, were plotting behind your back to destroy your life, that sends shivers down your spine. It does. It's like, whoa. Like that movie Sleeping with the Enemy, or one of those movies where, you think one thing of a person. And yeah, I've always been extremely intuitive, but even intuitive people, when you're comfortable with somebody, you don't want to look into them. You don't want to sit here and be like, I want to analyze you. You want to believe that these people are caring, that you have a comforting environment, because everybody needs that. Everybody needs that, and I can see that when people don't have, a stable or comforting environment, then this is the sort of psychological trauma that they experience. They've done all kinds of, things on animals, and of course humans, okay, to see how everyone needs a sense of emotional stability through the family structure. That's important, but it's a very rare thing. Okay, so some families are really good at that, and just because somebody was able to guide you and direct you into making good career goals or whatever doesn't necessarily mean they're doing it meeting your emotional needs either. Because some people, there's a lot of arrogant families who just want their family to look good, and they want their kids to be like doctors and lawyers, not because they want their kids to be stable, but because that makes them look like good parents, and they can put bumper stickers on their car and they can brag about, the success of their kid because it makes them look good. You know what I mean? Kids need love. You know what I mean? They need love. And it's a very rare thing, and it's very hard to be loving parent when you've got bills to pay, when you've got to work a job where people are assholes, and, and it's like a, what do you call it? Like a maze, or it's like a obstacle course, or just bunch of bullshit. When people make your life 10 times harder than it really shouldn't have been. And yes, I do. I love my son. I do. I would have been a better parent to my son if I didn't have the outside issues. Because I came home many times during the night when I was working, when my son was younger, and I would just stay in my room. Like, I was so shaken by the bullshit that I was dealing with at work. I was always worried, like, am I going to lose my job? What's going to happen? What's going to happen now? And that wasn't my intention. My intention was, and it would have been completely easy, it would have been possible, completely feasible for me to find a decent job, raise my son, be able to, and I really do believe that I would have been able to put my son through his schooling or whatever. This is what my goal was. I'm not fucking kidding you. That was what my goal was. And then I always ended up dealing with things that I shouldn't have dealt with. So when you realize that somebody plowed your entire life over, so you're just trying to make the best of the few years that you do have, and you're trying to get yourself back to where you need to be, and then you got people wanting to play, puppet games with you, you get pretty pissed off. I'm running out of years, you know what I mean? And these years, I don't want to deal with your drama. I don't want to deal with it. So anyway, today I've got some errands to run. I did mention to this lady, that I'm not really driving as much as I used to, and I really think it's best. I don't like being behind the wheel anymore. I really don't. I know that it's necessary, and there's times where I'm going to have to drive, and I understand that. But there's certain things that right now, at least right now, I'm really not that gung-ho about, like driving on freeways and stuff like that. I can't do it. I can't. Even little small overpasses sometimes can trigger some sort of anxiety inside of me. So it's something that I've been avoiding. I'm trying to avoid being behind the wheel. Yes, I have been riding my bike. Okay, and I know you're gossiping, and I told you there's no one, I'm not saying anybody, and yes, this is the way I do things. I like riding a bicycle, and actually I've been talking about bicycles. I've always had a bicycle. Last time I had a bicycle was when I first got together with my ex-husband, and I got a bicycle, I think it was in 2002, 2003, somewhere around there, and I enjoyed my bicycle. I like my bicycle, but my son bought me this. I didn't ask him. He bought me a bicycle. So for all these people who are talking about Maria's going out there, you know, she's working her body. Look, I've got all this right here. Okay. Like I have flab on my body. I'm not moving to try to get it out of it. I'm not doing it. I'm not health buff. I know people like to think this because they want to believe that I'm having some sort of whirlwind romance and that all this shit's going on. There's nothing going on. Okay. But I do want to live a life where I'm bringing my life back to simple basics. Meaning I like the idea of riding a bicycle. Not all the time. You know, I wouldn't want to do it all the time. But like, for example, if you want to go to the store, ride your bicycle to the store, I like the idea of having a little basket on my bicycle. I really do. I like the idea of living simple. This is what I want for myself. You know, and I do. If I had one of those little tiny homes out in the middle, I would be fucking pleased. You know, I want my life to be like an old-fashioned type life based on what I want in my life. And that's just how it is. You know? And that's right for me. Everything in my body, in my mind, in my heart, everything, that's right for me. It's normal for me. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like everyone else. You know? I know everyone's into, like, you know, I know there's a lot of people who are into different things, and that's fine. I'm not. You know? And it's not a matter of, you know, if you want to be in a competition to see how modern you are and how, you know, how computer savvy you are, then you win, and good for you. Good for you. Wonderful. But for me, I really could give two shits about it. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that I get to live my life, you know, with my crafts and my little hobbies and my whatever. That's what I want to do in my life. Okay. I don't have a desire to, you know, I'm not dating, like I said, I'm not dating anyone. I haven't seen this person in over 30 something years. I've never talked to him. I haven't heard his voice or anything like that. I don't. There's no one, you know, there's no one in my life. I don't even have like my old friend. My friend has passed away. I'm completely gone. I have no one in my life. Okay. There are some people from YouTube that have sent me messages, which I am very grateful for. That's very nice of you. Thank you very much. But like, as far as somebody that like I continually have a ongoing dialogue with, somebody who checks in on me every day or something, like I don't have that. I don't have it. So there's a lot of rumors that are going on, okay? And it doesn't matter who I would be dating anyway, because I would never allow or want or consent, or once I realized that somebody was manipulating or pulling my strings, I would want to separate from that person because I'd be terrified of them. I don't believe in conjugal work relationships or anything. I don't believe in that. For good reason. All right. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. I think I've been talking long enough, and I'm going to try to make the best of this day. I really am. I'm going to try to make the best of this day by just focusing on what I need to do, like my my paperwork and got to get shit turned in, and I'm tired. I'm very tired. You know, there's so much that I'm constantly thinking about, and I think what throws me off the most is the fact that that people do things like this and they think that it's justified. That's what disturbs me like the most. The most is like, you know, when you deal with those kind of people. You know, I will tell you, there's certain people that I want in my life, and there's certain people that I don't. And it's my responsibility to find my tribe, the kind of people that I relate to. That's my responsibility. Okay. And if I find them, great. If I don't, well then you know what? I'm okay. Being a solitary person is not a bad thing. Okay. You're better off being a solitary person than dealing with people that are continuously stabbing your back. I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you have a great day.